Hello, 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 everybody. I am attorney Mike Leline, and you guys know that I am an attorney licensed in California and Texas, and I'm here with BZ Watchdog. I'm going to put
Sorry.
BZ. I'm going to put BZ on mute for a second. So we were just going to have some fun tonight. This is probably not going to be like the biggest stream. It's not about a cop watching or anything like that. We just want to check out the geriatric debate here between these two guys and try to have a little bit of fun with it, because we realize that you probably are sick of the corporate media talking heads, and we could do a better job, we thought, at going through this whole gig. What do you think, BZ? What do you have to say to the sidebar here?
I don't know if we do better, but it's definitely going to be probably funnier. It probably won't be as funny as Saturday Night Live this weekend.
Yeah, you think so? Hey, what's up, Ghost Man? Good seeing you, dude.
What do we got? A whole whopping 3 people in here? Really? Seriously? That's it?
Well, the debate's just getting started, man. This is going to be a big thing, right,
okay,
guys?
So we got 4 in there now. So
yeah, we're killing it, man.
Just getting started, man.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Be a big thing.
God dang.
Right, guys? We got 4.
Here, hang on.
Yeah.
All right. I got it turned down. Sorry about that. I got it piped into 2 places.
Well, let's here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and, because I want you guys to see.
I got to shout out to a few people before we get started.
Yeah, you do it, man. Make it
I got Jody Shillo, who's always here. Chevy. I'm gonna say Leto TBO, but he's been acting a little crazy. Hey, by the way, bye troll. I love timing you trolls out and get rid of you. That's what I love to do. So, anyways, Kurt Bronson, nice to see you. Jeff, how's it going? Hey, Jeff's wanting to see papers. Show me the papers.
Was?
Have no papers to the concrete face pipe and go. I think it's funny. That's funny.
So you guys
got
the
Ghost
papers,
Man,
huh?
Christopher. Power to the people.
Papers, Mav, where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers?
You don't have any papers. Don't have any papers.
Hey, so what's up, Christopher One? Guys, I'm just in the backstage here trying to get queued up so you can see what's going on here on the live feed, so you can kind of see.
Ghostman says he wants papers too. Shit. Brownie, come on up.
Wants to roll a live one. You want some papers? Let's take a look at this. All right, so guys, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought this thing was supposed to be starting at like 6 o'clock Pacific. So somebody in the sidebar tell me, is there a different link I need to go to? Because this looks kind of boring. I see all these guys.
It's kind of what I'm looking for right now, man. I'm kind of, you know how they say trolling? Yeah. I'm trolling.
Yeah. Yeah, Chevy. Well, show me your papers. Akto Lieberkeit, Zeit, Gesundheit.
Looks like CNN's got it going live right now.
Okay, I'm going to go try and find the CNN one. You go ahead and take over this bad chicken. You have the ship.
Well, oh my God. What happened to Biden, man?
What do you mean?
Oh, the way he sounds, the way he looks.
Oh, man, I got to find it. Now I feel bad because I'm not.
Holy shit, man. He doesn't even. Am I sure I'm not looking at an imposter? Because that doesn't look like the Joe Biden I saw 4 years ago.
Well, all I see is a bunch of guys talking on CNN. It says here that it's scheduled.
I went to YouTube. I went to YouTube, bro. I'm on the CNN YouTube, man.
Me too.
I'm on YouTube Live right now.
No kidding. Hold on.
I'm watching Biden speak right now.
Well, I saw one on YouTube that was an old video from an old.
Started streaming 36 minutes ago. I think this thing started 36 minutes ago, man. I think we're late.
How could that be when it's 6 o'clock?
Are you sure it wasn't like 6 o'clock in a different time zone?
If it's 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, that makes it 6.
It says 8:30 p.m. Eastern time it started. So we're already late.
Hold on.
Things weren't able.
Hold
to
on, here we
during the
go.
month was a problem.
I got it.
The price of eggs, the price of gas, the price of housing, the price of
There
a
it
whole
is.
range of things. That's why I'm working so hard to make sure I deal with those problems.
You got to turn off
And
your
we're going to make
sound.
sure
Already
we
did.
reduce the price of housing. We're going to make sure we build 2 million new units. We're going to make sure we cap rents so corporate greed can't take over. The combination.
All right.
of
Well, that
left
really
and corporate
inspires
greed is the reason
confidence
why
in
we're in this
me.
problem right now. In addition to that, we're in a situation where if you take a look at all that was done in his administration, he didn't do much at all. By the time he left, things were in chaos, literally chaos. And so we put things back
Yo,
together.
what's
We
up,
created,
Irene,
I
in the
said, those
sidebar?
jobs. We make sure we had a
Wrong.
situation where we brought down the price of prescription drugs, which is a major issue for many people, to $15 for a insulin shot as opposed to $400. No senior has to pay more than $200 for any drug, all the drugs they can include beginning next year. And the situation is and we're going to make that available to everybody, to all Americans. So we're working to bring down the price of around the
I feel
kitchen
like I'm
table.
watching that
And
movie,
that's what we're
Grumpy
gonna
Old
get
Men.
done.
Thank you,
Dude.
President Trump.
We have the greatest economy in the history of our country.
Really?
We have never done so well. Everybody was.
I guess he wasn't around in the 90s.
Copying us. We got hit with COVID, and when we did, we spent the money necessary so we wouldn't end up in a Great Depression, the likes of which we had in 1929. By the time we finished, so we did a great job. We got a lot of credit for the economy, a lot of credit for the military, and no wars, and so many other things. Everything was rocking good. But the thing we never got the credit
like he
for,
lost
and we
weight.
should have, is getting us out of that COVID mess. He
Called
created mandates
cosmetic
that was
stretching.
a disaster for our country. But other than that, we had given them back a country where the stock market actually was higher than pre-COVID, and nobody thought that was even possible. The only jobs he created are for illegal immigrants and bounce back jobs, a bounce back from the COVID. He has not done a good job. He's done a poor job, and inflation's killing our country. It is absolutely killing us.
Thank
I'll
you,
agree with
President
that
Biden.
statement.
Well, look, the greatest economy in the world. He's the only one who thinks that, I think. I don't know anybody else who
That's
thinks
true,
that
too.
he's the greatest economy in the world. And, the fact of the matter is that we put ourselves in a situation where his economy, he rewarded the wealthy.
I
He
think
had
he
the
needs
largest
to
tax cut in American history.
take some more
$2
Adderall.
trillion. He raised a deficit larger than any president has in any one term. He's the only president other than Herbert Hoover who's lost more jobs than he had when he began, since Herbert Hoover. The idea that he did something that was significant. And the military, when he was president, they were still killing people in Afghanistan. He didn't do anything about that. When he was president, we were still finding ourselves in a position where you had a notion that we were this safe country. The truth is, I'm the only president this century that doesn't have this decade, that doesn't have any troops dying anywhere in the world like he did.
Liar.
President Trump, I want to follow up if I
Hey,
can.
he
You
flooded
want-
our country with
Well,
illegals
I'm going to
and
ask you a follow-up.
all
You can
kinds of
do whatever
different
you want with
people.
the
We have no
minutes we
idea
give
who
you.
they are.
I want to
I mean,
follow
let's
up.
be
You
truthful,
want to
man.
impose
Stop
a
saying you're the
10%
only
tariff
one.
on all
That's
goods
bullshit.
coming into the U.S. How will you ensure that that doesn't drive prices even higher?
It's not going to drive them higher. It's just going to cost countries that have been ripping us off for years, like China and many others, in all fairness to China. It's going to just force them to pay us a lot of money,
I
reduce
agree
our
with that.
deficit tremendously,
China.
and give us a lot of power for
He's
other
right.
things. But he made a statement. The only thing he was right about is I gave you the largest tax cut in history. I also gave you the largest regulation cut in history. That's why we had all the jobs. And the jobs went down and then they bounced back. And he's taking credit for bounce back jobs. You can't do that. He also said he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited almost no inflation, and it stayed that way for 14 months. And then it blew up under his leadership because they spent money like a bunch of people that didn't know what they were doing, and they don't
That
know
is
what they were doing.
true.
It was the worst,
Drunk
probably the worst
sailors
administration in
trying
history.
to buy
There's
votes.
never been. And as far as Afghanistan is concerned, I was getting out of Afghanistan, but we were getting out with dignity, with strength, with power. He got out. It was the most embarrassing day in the history of our country's life.
President
Absolutely.
Trump, over the last 8
I agree
years
with
under
that.
both of your administrations, the national debt soared to record highs. And according to a new nonpartisan analysis, President Trump, your administration approved $8.4 trillion in new debt. Well, so far, President Biden, you've approved $4.3 trillion in new debt. So, former President Trump, many of the tax cuts that you signed into law are set to expire next year. You want to extend them and go even further, you say. With the U.S. facing trillion-dollar deficits and record debt, Why should top earners and corporations pay even less in taxes than they do now?
Because the tax cut spurred the greatest economy that we've ever seen just prior to COVID. And even
That's
after
a
COVID,
lie.
it was so strong that we were able to get through COVID much better than just about any other country. But we spurred that tax spurs. Now, when we cut the taxes, as an example, the corporate tax was cut down to 21% from 39%, plus beyond that. We took in more revenue with much less tax, and companies were bringing back trillions of dollars back into our country. The country was going like never before, and we were ready to start paying down debt. We were ready to start using the liquid gold right under our feet.
Hey, Stacy.
The oil and gas right under our feet.
How's it
We were
going?
going to have something that nobody else
I
has
feel like
had.
I'm listening to
We got hit with
propaganda on
COVID.
both sides
We
here.
did a lot to fix it. I gave him an unbelievable situation with all of the therapeutics and all of the things that we came up
Look
with.
at him. Look at
We
Biden.
gave him something great. Remember, more people died under his administration, even though we had largely fixed it. More people died under his administration than our administration, and we were right in the middle of it.
It's like
Something
you're
which a
full of
lot of people
shit.
don't like to talk about. But he had far more people dying.
Would
in
they
his
die of the
administration.
mRNA
He
injection?
did the mandate, which is a disaster, mandating.
Hey, you know how you can
The
tell that
vaccine
both
went
these
out.
guys
He
are
did a
lying,
mandate
Mike?
on the
lips
vaccine,
are
which is the
moving.
thing that people
Exactly.
most objected to about the vaccine. And he did a very poor job, just a very poor job. And I will tell you, not only poor there, but throughout the entire world, we're no longer respected.
Biden looks
as
like
a
he's going to
country.
pass
They
out.
don't respect our leadership. They don't respect the
Biden's
United
about to have
States
a stroke
anymore.
from
We're
believing
like
this
a
shit.
third world nation between weaponization of his election,
Man.
trying to go after his political opponent. All of the things
Time's
he's
up.
done, we've become like a third world nation. And it's a
I don't
shame.
think Biden knows
The
where he is
damage
either,
he's done
Stacey.
to our country. And I'd love to ask him, and will, why he allowed millions of people to come in here from prisons,
Why is
jails,
Trump
and
getting
mental
so angry?
institutions to
Calm
come into our
down.
country and destroy our country.
Yeah, why did he
Down.
allow?
We'll
I want to
get
hear this.
immigration,
Why did he allow
later in
these
this block.
illegals
President
coming here?
Biden, I want to give you an opportunity to respond to this question about the national debt.
He had the largest national debt of any president in a 4-year period, number one. Number two, that $2 trillion tax cut benefited the very wealthy. What I'm going
True.
to do is fix the tax system. For example, we have 1,000 trillionaires in America. I mean, billionaires in America.
Oh, there he
And what's
goes again.
happening? They're in a situation where they, in fact, pay
Poor guy.
8.2% in taxes. If they just paid 24%, 25%, either one of those numbers, they'd raise $500 million, billion dollars, I should say, in a 10-year period. We'd be able to wipe out his debt. We'd be able to help make sure that all those things we need
Did
to do,
someone get him a
childcare,
teleprompter?
elder care,
Something.
making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary
Whoa.
I think his blood pressure.
uh,
I think his blood
eligible
pressure's
for
right
what
here,
I'm able to
man.
do with
Irene
the,
says that he's in
with-
La
with-
La
with the
Land. I
COVID.
agree.
excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump.
Oh, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death, and he's destroying Medicare because all of these people are coming in.
That was
They're putting
pretty
them on
good.
Medicare. They're
Give
putting
me a
them
bunch
on
of ones if you
Social
thought that was
Security.
the
They're going to
funniest
destroy Social
He
Security.
beat it
This
to
man is
death
going to
tonight. The
single-handedly
funniest tonight.
destroy
Give
Social
me ones,
Security.
guys.
These millions and millions of people coming in, they're trying to put them on Social Security. He will wipe out Social Security. He will wipe out Medicare. So he was right in the way he finished that sentence. And it's a shame.
Oh,
What's happened to
wow,
our country
wow.
in the last 4 years is not to be believed. Foreign countries, I'm friends with a lot of people. They cannot believe what happened to the United States of America. We're no longer respected.
I'm curious
true.
what
They
he's
don't
on,
like
man. They
us.
look like they got
We
him
give
so
them everything
medicated
they
right now.
want,
Oh,
and
They
yeah.
might fall
they
over.
think we're stupid.
Is that
They
really
think we're very
him, or is that
stupid
somebody
people.
in a
What we're doing for
in a
other
Biden
countries,
suit like Men
and
in
they
Black?
do nothing for us. What this man has done is absolutely criminal.
Thank you, President Trump. Dana?
This looks like
This is
he's
the
lost.
first presidential election since the
So
Supreme
we
Court
don't.
overturned
So we don't
Roe
need
v.
to
Wade.
listen to these talking
This
heads.
morning,
This is.
the court ruled on yet another
Oh, never
abortion
mind.
case,
I guess we have to.
temporarily allowing emergency abortions to continue in Idaho, despite that state's
You the hoe.
restrictive ban.
You the hoe.
Former President Trump, you take credit for the decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, which returned the issue of abortion to the states.
Correct.
However, the federal government still plays a role in whether or not women have access to abortion pills. They're used in about 2/3 of all abortions. As president,
Plan
would
B.
you block abortion medication?
First of all, the Supreme Court just approved the abortion bill, and I agree with their decision to have done that. and I will not block it. And if you look at this whole
Of
question,
course
that
not. He
you're
doesn't want
asking,
any more
they're
illegitimate
complex,
kids.
but not really complex. 51 years ago, you had Roe v. Wade, and everybody wanted to get it back to the states. Everybody, without exception. Democrats,
Oh,
Republicans,
that was bad,
liberals,
man.
conservatives. Everybody wanted it back. Religious leaders. And what I did is I put three
At least
great
he doesn't
Supreme Court
snip
justices
illegitimate
on the
kids.
court, and they happened to vote in favor of killing Roe v. Wade and moving it back to the states. This is something that everybody wanted.
Well, you know,
Now,
it's
10
funny. They
years
both
ago or
keep
so,
killing
they started
something.
talking about how many
He's
weeks
killing
and how many this,
Medicaid.
getting
He's
into
killing
other
Roe
things.
versus
But
Wade.
every legal scholar
Hey,
throughout the
look,
world,
Stacy's
the most
loving it, man. We
respected,
already got
wanted it
51
brought back to
people.
the states.
We don't
I
have
did
anything
that.
better to do
Now
than
the
listen to
states
Orange
are
Man
working
Bad
it
and the
out.
old
If you look at
demented guy.
Ohio, it was a decision that was.
Look
it
at
was
his
an
eye.
end
Looks like he's
result. It was
having
a
a
little
stroke
bit more liberal than
mid-sentence.
you would have thought. Kansas, I would say the same thing. Texas is different. Florida
Yo,
is different. But
Adrian,
they're all making their own decisions
I'm
right
losing
now.
this fight
And right
against
now,
Apollo
the
Trump.
states control it. That's the vote of the people. Like Ronald Reagan, I believe in the exceptions. I am a person that believes. And frankly, I think it's important to believe in the exceptions. Some people, you have to follow your heart. Some people don't believe in that. But I believe in the exceptions for rape, incest, and the life of the mother. I think
Of
it's
course
very
you do,
important.
because you're on
Some
the
people
island.
don't. Follow your heart, but you have to get elected also. And because that has to do with other things, you got to get elected. The problem they have is they're radical because they will take the life of a child in the 8th month, the 9th
Oh,
month, and
Stacy's
even
comment's
after birth.
funny. Did you see
After
that
birth,
comment
if you look
pop
at
up?
the former
Mike,
governor
look
of
at Stacy's
Virginia,
comment.
he was willing to do this. He said, "We'll put the baby aside and we'll determine what
He's
we do
waiting
with
for
the
the
baby,
alarm in
meaning
his
we'll kill the
earpiece to
baby."
go off.
What happened is we brought it back to the states, and the country
Ring,
is
ring, ring,
now
your turn.
coming together
Oh,
on this issue. It's been a
Probably
great
like a
thing.
shock device.
Thank you, President Biden.
It's been a terrible thing, what you've done. The fact is that the vast majority of constitutional
Are you
scholars
sure? Do
supported
you
Roe
remember
when
where
it
you're
was
at,
decided.
Uncle Joe?
Supported Roe. And that's this idea that they're all against it is just ridiculous. And this is the guy who says the state should be able to have it. We're in a state where in 6 weeks you don't even know whether you're pregnant or not, but you cannot see a
Talk
doctor.
any faster, his
and
dentures
have
are going to
him
fall out.
decide on
Get off
what
my
your
lawn.
circumstances are when you need help.
Get off
The
my
idea that
lawn.
states are able to do this is a little like saying we're going to turn civil rights back to the states. That each state have a different role.
Biden looks like he has
Look,
a
there's
bag
so
of
many
some
young
little
women
girl's
who
hair
are
in the back
including a
room
young
waiting
woman
on.
who just was murdered, and he went to the funeral.
Oh,
The idea that she was murdered by a murderer coming in. They talk about that. Here's the deal: there's a lot of young women are being raped by their in-laws, by their spouses, brothers and sisters.
Use
by-
pronunciation. Enunciate.
and they can do nothing about it. And they try to arrest them when they cross state lines.
Thank you.
Many young women murdered by the same people he allows to come across our border. We have a border that's the most dangerous place anywhere in the world. Consider the most dangerous place anywhere in the world.
Yeah, because
And
we're
these
inside Nazi Germany.
are coming into our country, and they are raping and killing women. And it's a terrible thing. As far as the abortion is concerned, it is
Wait,
now
aren't
back to
cops
the
doing that
states
here too,
to
though?
voting.
That's true.
In many cases, it's
But we don't
frankly a
need
very
more of
liberal
it from
decision. In many
foreigners.
cases, it's the opposite. But they're voting, and
They're
it's
letting
bringing
them
it back
become
to the
cops
vote of
now.
the people, which is what everybody wanted, including the founders, if they knew about this
Oh, if you
issue.
think that's
which,
funny,
frankly, they
Stacy,
didn't.
wait till Saturday Night
They wanted-
Live.
Everybody wanted
Corn
it
Pop
brought back.
wouldn't have let
Ronald
this
Reagan
happen. That's
wanted
all
it
I
brought
know.
back. He wasn't able to get it. Everybody wanted it brought back, and many presidents had tried to get it back. I was the one to do it. And again, this gives it
Of
Absolutely,
course, take the
Stacey.
credit,
and
Trump.
that's where they wanted it.
Oh,
Every
big
legal
hit.
scholar wanted
I mean,
it
every
that way.
time I look at Biden, I
Staying on
just
the topic of abortion,
help but
President
start
Biden,
laughing.
7 states, I'll let you do that. This is the same topic. 7 states have no legal
Stick to the topic,
on how
Joe.
far into a pregnancy a woman can obtain an abortion. Do you support any legal limits on how late a woman should be able to terminate a pregnancy?
I supported Roe v. Wade, which had 3 trimesters. The first time is between the woman and the doctor. Second time is between the doctor and an extreme situation. The third time is
look at
between
Trump's
the
face.
doctor.
It's
I mean, between the
He's
woman and
just
the
waiting
state.
for he's
The
waiting to
idea
chime
that
in.
the politicians,
Wrong,
the
wrong.
founders wanted the politicians
oh
to be
my
the ones
lord,
making
this is
decisions
too
about women's
much,
health
man.
is ridiculous. That's the last. No politician should be making that decision. A doctor should be making that decision. That's how it should be run. That's what you're going to do.
I'm
If
waiting for
elected,
Trump
I'm
to
gonna
ask him
restore
for
Roe
his
v. Wade.
papers.
He can take the life of the baby in the 9th month, and even after birth, because some states, Democrat run, take it after birth. Again, the former governor of Virginia, put the baby down, then we decide what to do with it. So
Put the
he's
baby down.
he's
Step
willing
away
to, as
from the
we say,
baby.
rip the baby out of the womb in the 9th month and kill the baby. Nobody wants that to happen, Democrat or Republican. Nobody wants it to happen.
That's the
That
first
is
honest
simply
thing I
not
think he
true.
said.
That Roe v. Wade does not provide.
Where are your papers, Mav? Where are they? Oh,
Are not for late-term abortion. Period. Period. Period.
Period, period, period. Because I don't know what else to say.
You can
Period,
do whatever
period,
you want,
period.
depending on the state. You can do whatever you want. We don't think that's a good thing. We think it's a radical thing. We think the Democrats are the radicals, not the Republicans.
What are you talking
51
about, Donald?
years,
You're a
that was law.
radical in
51
disguise.
years, constitutional scholarship said it was the right way to go. 51 years. And it was taken
You gotta
away
play
by
that
the
back.
Democrat-
That was good.
with very conservative members on the Supreme Court. He takes credit for taking it away.
It's not
What's he going to do? What's he going to do, in fact, if the MAGA Republicans, he gets elected, and the MAGA Republicans control the Congress?
Why
and
do they gotta
pass
be
a
MAGA
universal
Republicans? Why
ban
can't they just
on
be
abortion,
Republicans?
Period, across the board at 6 weeks or 7 or 8 or 10 weeks, something very, very
It's like
conservative.
appeals briefs.
Is he
Why
gonna
do we
sign
keep
that
throwing
bill?
extra
I'll
words in
veto
there?
it. He'll sign it.
Thank you.
Let's turn now to the issue of immigration and
Wait,
border security. President Biden, a
Stacey's
record number
making
of
so
migrants
much
have
drink.
illegally crossed the southern border
Wrong.
under watch.
Wrong.
Overwhelming border states
Have a drink
and
with
overburdening
Stacey.
cities
It's
such
been the
as New York and
best
Chicago, and in
country
some
since
cases
I was
causing real safety and
president.
security concerns. Given that, why should voters trust you to solve this crisis?
We don't.
Because we worked very hard to get a bipartisan agreement that not only changed all of that, it made sure that we are in a situation where you had no circumstance where they could come across the border with the number
Way
of
ahead of you,
border police
Stacey.
there are now. We significantly increased the number of asylum officers. Significantly. By the way, the Border Patrol endorsed my position. In addition to that, we found ourselves in a
Biden,
situation where
Biden,
when
I'm
he was
cutting you
president,
off.
he was taking
No more.
separating babies from their mothers, putting them in cages, making sure they were the families were separated.
Guys, I gotta
That's
go.
the right way to go.
I gotta
What
go
I've
get my
done since
wife
I've
up for
changed
a
the law,
shot of Jack
what
Daniels. I'll be right
I've
back.
changed it in a way that now you're in a situation where there are 40% fewer people coming across the border illegally. That's better than when he left office. And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more border patrol and more asylum officers.
I forgot where I was going with
I
that
really
statement.
don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I
Exactly.
don't think he knows what he said either. Look, we had the safest border in the history of our country. The border, all he had to do was leave it. All he had to do was leave it. He decided to open up our border, open up our country to people that are from prisons, people that are from mental institutions, insane asylums.
Jeff, I
terrorists.
agree.
We have the largest number
Agreed,
of terrorists
Jeff.
coming into our country right now. All terrorists.
Oh, these are our
all
only
over the
two
world, Not
options.
just in South America, all over the world. They come from the Middle East, everywhere. All over the world, they're pouring in. And this guy just left it open. And he didn't need legislation because I didn't have legislation. I said, close the border. We had the safest border in history. In that final couple of months of my presidency, we had, according to Border Patrol, who is great, and by the way, who endorsed me for president, but I won't say that, but they endorsed me for president. Brandon, just speak to him. But look, we had the
Brandon?
safest border in history. Now
He
we have
just
the worst
called me
border in history.
Brandon.
There's never been anything like it. And people are dying all over the place, including the people that are coming up in
Thank you,
caravans.
President Trump. President Biden?
The only terrorist who's done anything crossing the border is one who came along and killed three, under his administration, killed an Al-Qaeda person come in and his
Stacey.
administration killed 3 American soldiers.
Stacey,
Killed
this
3
one's for
American
you.
soldiers. That's the only terrorist that's there. I'm not saying that no terrorist ever got through, but the idea.
I see
we're
two
emptying our
terrorists right
prisons,
now.
we're
They're
up-
both
we're
on the
welcoming these
screen.
people. That's simply not true. There's
Because they're
no data
terrorizing
to
me with
support
this
what he
speech.
says. Once again, he's exaggerating. He's lying.
President Trump, staying on the topic of immigration, you've said
Good
that
luck
you're going
with
to
that
carry
one.
out, quote, the largest domestic deportation operation in American history.
I will
unquote.
get rid of
Does that
all
mean that you will deport
illegals.
every
Make this
undocumented
country
immigrant
great
in
again.
America, including those who have jobs,
It'll
including
be
those
the best
whose
country
spouses are
ever.
citizens, and including those who have lived here for decades? And if so, how will you do it?
Just 1 second. He said we killed 3 people. The people we killed are al-Baghdadi and Soleimani, the 2 greatest
said stay
terrorists,
on
biggest
topic,
terrorists anywhere
Trump.
in the world. And it had a huge
Stay
impact on
on
everything, not just
topic.
border, on everything.
I just can't help
He's the
cracking
one
up
that
every
killed
time I
people
look
with
at
a bad
Biden's
water,
face,
including
man.
hundreds of thousands of
My
people
God.
dying,
What are you
and
talking
also
about?
killing our citizens when they come in. We are living right now in a rat
Is that a
nest.
little? Is
They're
that a little
killing our
girl with
people in
good?
New York, in
Is that a little
California, in
girl over there?
every
I can touch her
state
hair
in
and
the union,
sniff.
because we don't have borders anymore. Every state is now a border. And because of his ridiculous, insane, and very stupid policies, people are coming in and they're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen. We call it migrant crime. I call it Biden migrant crime. They're killing our citizens at a level that we've never seen before. And you're reading it like these three incredible young girls over the last few days. One of them, I just spoke to the mother, and they just had the funeral for this girl, 12 years old. This is horrible what's taken place. What's taken place in our country, we're literally an uncivilized country now. He doesn't want it to be. He just doesn't know. He opened the borders. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And we have to get a lot of these people out, and we have to get them out fast.
Can we bring them? Can we bring them back into the ball
Just take a
field?
look at where they're living. They're living in luxury hotels in New York City and other places. Our veterans are on the street. They're dying because he doesn't care about our
Just
veterans.
vote
He
for
doesn't care
BZ
about
Watchdog.
military at all. And he doesn't
Just
care
write
about
my
our
name
veterans.
in.
Nobody been worse. I had the highest approval rating for veterans taking care of the VA. He has the worst. He's gotten rid of all the things that I approved. Choice that I got through Congress, all of the different things I approved, they abandoned.
I don't know if they are
The
rude.
highest, and now it's
I
down
have
to less
moved
than
her
half
message.
because he's
It's the
done all
best
these great
message
things that we did.
ever.
And I think he did it just because I approved it, which is crazy. But
Told
he has
you.
killed so many people at our border by
Thank you,
allowing
President Trump.
all of these people to come in. And
President
it's a
Biden.
very
Get off
sad
my
day. in
lawn.
America.
President Biden, you have the mic.
Every single thing he said is a lie. Every single one. For example, veterans are a hell of a lot better off since they passed the PACT Act. 1
Whoa,
million of them
easy,
now have
Biden.
insurance,
Whoa.
and their families have it.
Get off my
Their
lawn.
families have it because what happened, whether it was Agent Orange or
Get off my
they're all
podium
being
in my
covered
state.
now. And he opposed his group opposed that. We're also in a situation where we have great respect for veterans. My son spent a year in Iraq. living right
He's
next to
also
one of
about
the
to
firms.
spend a
Just
year
came
in
back with
jail.
Stage 4 glioblastoma. I was recently in
That was his
France
other
for
son,
D-Day, and I spoke all about those heroes that died. I went to the World War II cemetery, World War I cemetery.
World War
refused to
II
go there.
cemetery, shouldn't
I'm
you be
standing with
buried
his
there too?
four-star general.
Good Lord.
And he told me, he said, I don't want to go in there because they're a bunch of losers and suckers. My son
Little
was not
suckers.
a loser, was not
Hello's
a sucker.
for suckers.
You're the loser.
President Trump.
First of all,
Suckering
that was
succotash.
amazing. Suckers and losers. They made it up. It was in a third-rate magazine that's failing, like many of these magazines. He made that up. He put it in commercials. We've notified him. We had 19 people that said I didn't say it. And think of this. Who would say I'm at a cemetery or I'm talking about our veterans?
You guys look like you both belong in a cemetery.
And he brought
Thanks,
it up.
Jeff. I
There's
appreciate
nobody
it.
that's taken better care of our soldiers than I have. To think that I would, in front of generals and others, say suckers and losers. We have 19 people that said
I will
it
do
was never said
shots
by
for
me.
super chats.
It was made up by him, just like Russia was made up. Just like
Wait,
the
didn't he
51
make fun of
intelligence
Senator
agents are
McCain?
made up. Just like
Didn't
the
he
new
call
thing with the
Senator
16
McCain a loser
economists are talking
for getting
the same
captured?
thing. 51
I don't know.
intelligence agents said that the laptop was Russia disinformation.
That's true.
It wasn't. That
We were
came
lied
from
to
his
by our
son,
government.
Hunter. It wasn't Russia disinformation. He made up the suckers and losers, so he should apologize to me right now.
That's
Four-star general
sucks.
standing to your
Because
side.
the
who's on
FBI
your
and the
staff
CIA were
said
in
you
on it.
said
That's what sucks.
Period. That's number one. And number two, the idea that I have to apologize to you for anything.
Yeah,
along
for
the
lying
way.
to the American
We've
people.
done more for veterans than any president has in American history. And they now are in their family. The only sacred obligation we have as a country is to care for our veterans when they come home.
Nobody can
and their
understand
families,
Biden.
and equip them when they go to war.
AC, you're too much.
That's what we're doing. That's what the VA is doing now. They're doing more for veterans than ever before.
Debates are for
All right, thank you
suckers.
so much.
Debates
Topic
are
of
for
foreign policy.
suckers.
I want to begin with Russia's war against Ukraine, which is now in its third year. Former President Trump, Russian President Vladimir Putin says he'll only end this war if Russia keeps the Ukrainian territory.
Did you guys
it's
hear
already
that
claimed,
Ukraine
and
just used
Ukraine
cluster bombs on
abandons its
a
bid to
beach
join
filled with
NATO.
civilians? And they were U.S.
Are Putin's
cluster bombs.
terms
You don't hear that in the
acceptable to you?
news media,
First
guys.
of all, our
Got a
veterans
wide open
and our
border. We got
soldiers
problems coming
can't
our
stand
way.
this guy. They can't stand him. They think he's the worst commander in chief, if that's what
Oh,
you
that's
call
for
him,
sure. Yeah, he's a
that
joke.
we've ever had. They can't stand
yeah,
him. So
without
let's get that
question.
straight.
veterans,
They like me more than
people in
just
the
about
military
any
think
of them.
Biden's a joke.
And that's based on every single bit of information. As far as Russia and Ukraine, if we had a real president, the president that knew, that was respected by Putin, he would have never invaded Ukraine. A lot of people are dead right now, much more than people know. You know, they talk about numbers. You
You
can
have
double
no
those
lawn.
numbers, maybe triple those numbers. He did nothing to stop it. In fact, I think he encouraged Russia from going in. I'll tell you what happened. He was so bad with Afghanistan. It was such a horrible embarrassment, most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, that when Putin watched that and he saw the incompetence, that he should have fired those generals, like I fired the one that you mentioned. And so he's got no love lost, but he should have fired those generals. No general
You fired
got
everybody,
fired
Trump.
for the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, Afghanistan, where we left billions of dollars of equipment behind. We lost 13 beautiful soldiers, and 38
That was
soldiers
terrible.
were obliterated. And
That was
by
a
the way, we left
disgrace.
people behind too. We left American citizens behind. When
Stuart
Putin
Scheller
saw
for
that, he
president.
said,
Everybody
"You
vote
know
for
what?
Stuart
I
Scheller and
think
Eddie
we're gonna
Gallagher."
go in and maybe take my." This was his dream. I talked to him about it. His dream. The difference is he never would have invaded Ukraine. Never. Just like Israel would have never been invaded in a million years by Hamas. You know why? Because Iran was broke with me. I wouldn't let anybody do business with them. They ran out of money. They were broke. They had
That
no
was
money for
awesome.
Hamas. They had no money for anything.
Iran's a bunch
No
of
money for
terrorists.
terror.
That whole
That's
country
why
is
you
a
had no
terrorist
terror
country.
at all during my administration. This place, the whole world is blowing up under him.
President Biden?
I'm
Yeah,
still
bring
waiting for
Bukele
Mexico
up
to
here.
pay
Right
for
on,
that wall.
Irene.
Look, the fact of the matter
See that?
is
Irene
we're in a
says bring
situation where-
Bukele
let's
up
take the
here. I
last point
agree. Put
first.
all the freaking criminals
Mike,
away, man.
Mike, I'm
American
still
troops
waiting for the
kill
check
or
from Mexico
cause
for that
brain
wall.
damage for a number of
Yeah,
these troops.
maybe someday.
and he
Well,
did
I
nothing
know that
about it.
Biden
Recently,
sold all
when
the
he was
pieces of the
president,
wall that were
here
on
they
the
attacked.
ground.
He said there just
Are
haven't
they on a
headaches. That's
payment
all it
plan?
is. He didn't
I don't
do
know.
a
He
thing
sold them to
when the attack took
contractors
place,
instead of
number
putting them
one.
up.
Number
No, I'm
two,
at Mexico.
we got over
Oh, yeah,
100,000
right.
Americans and others out of Afghanistan during that airlift. Number three, we found ourselves in a situation where if you take a look at what Trump did in Ukraine, this guy told Trump, do whatever you want and do whatever you want.
Dude, are you
And that's
kidding me?
exactly what Trump did to Putin, encourage him, do whatever you want. And he went in. Listen to what he said when he went in. He was going to take Kyiv in 5 days, remember?
Hey, how's it
Because
going,
part of the
Biggest
old Soviet
Dickus?
Union.
Hey,
That's what he
Biggest
wanted
Dickus
to
is in the
reestablish
sidebar, BZ. You can
Kyiv.
say hi.
And he, in fact, didn't
What's
do
that?
it at all. He didn't
Biggest
wasn't able
Dickus
to
is
get it
here.
done. And they've
I
lost
don't know who that is.
They've lost
It's
thousands
one
and
of our
thousands of
followers.
troops, 500,000 troops.
President Trump,
I
as I
never
come back
said
to you
that.
for 1 minute, I just want to
Wrong.
go back to my
Never said
original
that.
question,
Wrong.
which is, are Putin's terms acceptable to you? Keeping the
No, they're
territory
not
in Ukraine.
acceptable. No, they're not acceptable. But look, this is a war that never should have started. If we had a leader in this war, he led everybody along. He's given $200 billion now or more to Ukraine. He's
Which
given
is
$200
insane.
billion. That's a lot
Insane.
of money. I don't think there's ever been anything like it. Every time that Zelensky comes to this
Gosh,
country,
he
he
looks
walks away with
retarded, doesn't
$60
he?
billion. He's the greatest salesman ever.
Absolutely.
He's
I'm not
thinking
knocking
about his
anything. I'm not
parting
knocking anything. I'm only
Hunter.
saying
Yep.
the money
I
that
think
we're
Zelensky's
spending
always
on
on
this
blow. What do you
war,
think? Give me a bunch of
and
ones
we
in the
shouldn't be
sidebar if
spending-
Zelensky's
it
always
should have never
snorting
happened.
lines.
I will
We see
have
him.
that war settled between Putin and Zelensky as president-elect before I take office on January 20th. I'll have that war settled. People being killed so needlessly, so stupidly, and I will get it settled, and I'll get it settled fast before I
Bill
take
Raven
office.
says whatever drugs they gave him
And
today
you
has
have a
him
minute.
running better.
The fact is that Putin is a war criminal. He's killed thousands and thousands of people.
Sure.
And he has made one thing clear.
Biden
He
sold
wants to
cluster
reestablish
munitions
what
to
was
the
part of the
Ukrainians. They just
Soviet
used them
Empire.
on civilians
Not just
on a
a piece.
beach.
He wants all of Ukraine. That's what he wants. And then you think he'll stop there? Do you think he'll stop when if he takes Ukraine? What do you think happens to Poland? What do you think of Belarus? What do you think happens to those NATO countries? And so if you want a war, you ought to find out what he's going to do, because if in fact he does what he says and walks away, by the
Jeff
way,
says, Biden, I
all
have your
that money
diaper.
we give Ukraine, the weapons we make here in the United States, we give them the weapons, not the money at this point. And our NATO allies have produced as much armaments for Ukraine as we have.
Have you ever
That's
heard
why
of the
it's much more
pens? That's
strong.
what he's got on right now.
Thank you. Moving
for
on to
sure.
the Middle East. In October,
Casey shits
Hamas
himself.
attacked
Yep.
Israel. killing more than 1,000 people and taking hundreds of hostages. Among those held and thought to still be alive are 5 Americans. Israel's response has killed thousands of Palestinians and created a humanitarian crisis in Gaza. President Biden, you've put forward a proposal
Oh,
to
for
resolve
sure,
this
Stacey.
conflict, but so far Hamas has not released the remaining hostages, and Israel is continuing its military offensive in Gaza. So what additional leverage will you use to get
Here's the look right
Hamas
now.
and Israel to end the war? You have 2 minutes.
Number one,
You
Brain overload.
everyone from the United Nations Security Council straight through to the G7 to the Israelis and Netanyahu himself have endorsed the plan I put forward. Endorsed the plan I put forward, which has 3 stages to it. The first stage is trade the hostages for a ceasefire. The second phase is a ceasefire with additional conditions. The third phase is the end of the war. The only one who wants the war to continue is Hamas. Number one, they're the only ones standing out. We're still pushing hard to get them to accept. In the meantime, what's happened in Israel? We're finding that the only thing I've denied Israel was 2,000-pound bombs. They don't work very well in populated areas. They kill a lot of innocent people. We're providing Israel with all the weapons they need and when they need them. And by the way, I'm the guy that organized the world against
true,
Iran
Jeff.
when they
Here's the deal, Brandon.
intercontinental ballistic missile attack on Israel.
Been saying that for
No
over
one
30
was
years,
hurt.
dude.
No one Israeli was accidentally killed, and it just stopped. We saved Israel. We are the biggest producer of support for Israel of anyone in the world. And so there are 2 different things. Hamas cannot be allowed to be continued. We continue to send our experts and our intelligence people as to how they can get Hamas like we did bin Laden.
Here comes the joke line. Here comes the pun.
They've been greatly weakened.
Here comes
Hamas.
Big T with his
Greatly
comeback.
weakened.
He's probably going to talk
They
about
should
all
be
the
eliminated.
anti-Jewish
But you've
stuff
got to be
going on in the
careful for
Democrat
what-
Party.
using certain weapons.
Unbelievable.
He's like,
He
this
didn't
guy
even
doesn't
won.
even know how to answer the question.
Yeah.
Just going back to Ukraine for 1 second. We have an ocean separating us. The European nations together have spent 100 billion or maybe more than that, less than us. Why doesn't he call them and say, you got to put up your money like I did with
Yep,
NATO? I got
I
them to
agree.
put up hundreds of billions of dollars. The Secretary General of NATO said Trump did the most
Definitely.
incredible job I've ever seen. They wouldn't have any, they were going out of business. We were spending almost 100% of the money was paid by us. He didn't do that. He's getting you got to ask these people to put up the money. We're over $100 billion more spent, and it has a bigger impact on them because of location, because we have an ocean in between. You got to ask them. As far as Israel and Hamas, Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one that wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
President Biden, you have a minute.
Gosh.
I've never heard so much foolishness. This is a guy who wants to get out of NATO.
Really, he must not have heard
NATO.
himself speak.
He's going to pull out of
No
NATO.
kidding, right?
The idea that we have our strength lies in our alliances as well.
Yeah,
Maybe a big
but in
ocean,
an
we're
alliance,
able
you have
to
a
avoid war
partnership.
in Europe, a major
We're
war
paying
in
for
Europe.
everything. It's
What happens if, in
ridiculous.
fact, you have Putin continue to go?
Give me a bunch
into-
of ones.
into
You
NATO?
hate it that
We have an
America
Article
pays
5
for all
agreement.
this crap.
Attack on one is attack on all. You want to start the nuclear war he keeps talking about?
What do
go
you mean?
ahead.
We're not paying
Let
for it. We
Putin
just
go
keep
in and
printing money.
control Ukraine.
Yeah, I know,
and
dude,
then
but
move
you
on
and
to
I are
Poland
paying
and
for it.
other
Our kids
places.
are paying for it.
You see what happens then. He has no idea what the hell he's talking about. And by the way, I got 50 other nations around the world to support Ukraine.
Oh, Joe's ready. Look at him. He's biting at the bit.
Because they understand.
Get off
that
my
this is-
lawn.
The only
Yeah.
person that doesn't know what's
has a
going on
serious
is
threat to the
you,
whole
Mr.
world peace.
Biden.
Corn
no
Pop was
major
a
war in
bad
Europe has ever been
dude.
able to be contained just to Europe.
Corn Pop was bad.
President Trump, just to follow up, would you support the creation of an
I like
independent
to sniff little
Palestinian
girls
state in
and
order to
boys.
achieve peace in the region?
I'd have to
Yes.
see, but before we do that, the problem we have is that we spend all the money. So they kill us on trade. I made great trade deals with the European nations because if you add them up, they're about the same size economically.
Hey,
Their
Mike,
economy is
look at
about
the
same
comment in the
size as
sidebar.
United States. And they were no cars.
To be
no-
honest,
they
both
don't want
parties are
anything
pretty
that we
weak
have.
points,
But
but
we're
Biden
supposed to
looks
take their
confused,
cars,
that's
their
for
food,
sure.
their everything, their agriculture.
God, what a
I
disgrace.
changed that. But the big thing I changed
After
is
what
they
he
don't
did in
wanna pay.
Afghanistan,
The
I
only
have
reason-
zero
Read lots
respect.
of how to
play
use
games
comment.
with NATO
What's that?
because I got them to
Read
put
the
up
comment
hundreds
in the
of billions of
sidebar.
dollars. I
Shut
said,
up.
and he's right about this. I said, no, I'm not going to support NATO if you don't pay. They asked me that question. Would you guard us against Russia at a very secret meeting of the 28
Oh, no kidding.
states at
So I
that
guess
time,
we're not
the
allowed to
nations at
stream
that
this
time.
thing.
And they said, no, if you don't pay, I won't do that. And you know
All
what
right,
happened?
guys. I guess we're going to have to
Billions
cut
and
it out.
billions
See you
of
guys.
dollars
Just
came
pause
flowing
it for
in
a
the next
second.
day and the next month.
All right.
Let me
Now
do
we're in
some
the same
research
position.
on it real quick.
All right. I mean, we're not allowed to even comment or talk about it. What's going
I'm
on?
trying to find out right now.
All right.
I didn't get no word about it, so
Yeah. Tell me where you found that out. What's the matter you? Because now we're all worried about it.
I'm trying to.
So hold on a minute. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and just let BZ Watchdog do some research. Everybody else in the sidebar do some research too, because that's kind of unfair, right? That we can't live stream and have fun with it.
What I mean, I don't know where
Well, I was having a great time.
I was too. Then he had to come in here and ruin it. What's the matter? You need to go to the channel, man. I
Well,
would rather had Mike's channel get shut down.
well, it doesn't
Kidding.
matter.
I'm just kidding.
So what's the matter you? Where'd you hear that? Show me a link or something. Brian from Here's the Deal says that we're not allowed to. So
That's Brian.
So we need to know, guys, because we want to keep on live streaming. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, I have like a halftime show for you.
Has been well documented throughout his administration.
Hold on.
Mumbles and stumbles often make headlines and are mocked by primetime television hosts. But what is not widely spoken about is Joe Biden's creepiness. Sniffing children, inappropriate touching, and strange whispering have all come up multiple times throughout his presidency. But the mainstream media seem to sweep the concerning behaviour under the rug. Sky News All-Stars Rita Panahi, Paul Murray, and James Morrow exposed Joe Biden's creepiest moments. President Joe Biden claims that the children of America are all our children. But he's taken that claim a little too far on many occasions, acting very strange in his interactions with kids. Arguably the strangest of Joe Biden's creepy behavior is his hair sniffing and close proximity to children's faces. Here's just a few of those moments.
Yeah. Let me whisper a secret. Don't tell mommy what I told you.
Yeah, I don't know what to say about that. He sniffs too many children, that man.
Times when he gently rearranges a young girl's hair and whispers in her ear, then rearranges some more. There's nothing pervy here. The VP knows he's on camera at these swearing-in ceremonies, and the parents are right there as he leans in for a kiss.
Well, I'm loving this. I'm hoping BZ that these guys are wrong. Because,
I'm not finding it anywhere, man. All
Man,
I
I'm
know
looking.
is
I don't
they
see
can't shut
anything.
down your channel. All they can do is demonetize the video for a copyright strike.
What I'm trying to understand though is like why it would be a problem to live stream a presidential debate and react to it. And I see all these different ones in the sidebar where people have been doing it, but I don't know, man. What do you guys think in the sidebar? Do you think that this is Chevy says Chevy's got a link. The problem is I can't click on that link in the sidebar. Can you click on it?
Let me see. Hang on a second.
Looks like Chevy found a link. What a bummer, guys, because obviously I want to be able to keep coming back and have fun with you guys. And that was definitely a buzzkill, right? Because we want to be able to cover this thing because it's probably one of the most entertaining things that we're ever going to see for our lifetimes, seeing these two dudes go at it. Like, how the heck did they even get there, right?
That's because there's another channel streaming it. So,
what does that mean?
Well, this guy's streaming it right here. So, like, here, let me email this to you.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people streaming it. I can see it, but I'm just trying to understand why we wouldn't be able to. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know how they would get rid of your channel. You're just gonna get a copyright strike. Is all you're gonna get.
Why would you get a copyright strike?
Because it's a mainstream media, like that one that the CNN.
Yeah, but it's fair use. It's public.
No, I know, but with copyright, I'm telling you, I tried doing that with any kind of news network. It's because you're not stopping the video like a reaction. That's why.
Oh, I see. But actually, we're cutting in and having fun. But
we are now. I mean.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So what you're saying is you can't run it and then cut in and have fun every once in a while. You got to do it like more than
normal. But there, I sent it to your email. I sent it to the one you sent me the stream on earlier. The one
says here that Rumble won't even show it. What's going on with that? Oh boy. Well, that sucks. Yeah, it's on public I don't understand it, but yeah, there's like 10 live streams of the debate. Zakama88 says. Now, Chevy put a link in the sidebar, but I can't.
I emailed you the link, Mike. You're not listening. Focus. You're starting to act like Biden.
Where did you send it to? What did you send it to? The
email. I told you. You weren't listening.
Hold on 1 second. Here we go. Give me 1 second, guys.
That you sent me.
Nice. People stream it. No, what we'll do is we'll stream this guy.
Hey, Joe. Focus, Joe.
We'll do this one.
Clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponent.
Retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful. Because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be convicted probably numerous other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most important things. But he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death toll at the border. Telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion, you can change the prosecutor. Otherwise,
So look, it doesn't make sense because wasn't out of you saying the networks appealed to YouTube and other social media and told them not to allow it under fair use. But here's the problem: CNN is airing it on YouTube live.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't matter if it's on YouTube; it's fair use.
But I don't see any of that. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, what's the matter? I think you did call fire. You know what? You're worse than Carolina with fire, rape. Woo! Face plant for you, buddy. You know what? Play that. Yeah, play the papers video just for what's the matter. I'm calling him out. I love him to death, but I'm calling him out for screaming fire without being in a movie theater.
I count on my people to keep me informed, because
but you know what? False alarms and coming in and stirring stuff up. You know what? Yeah, go directly to the concentration camp.
Oh, hold on a minute. Are you serious? Do we have to do this? Because
for what's the matter, you? Yes.
Wait a minute, but I really think that what's the matter, you is innocent.
I didn't get no notification on my channel that I couldn't restream it, so.
It would be pretty messed up, because all we're trying to do is, but unfortunately, I got to tell you, I have to obey BZ Watchdog.
Where are papers, Mav? Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers?
That is just the best, man. Hey, look, I just think that we're.
You know what? They're saying that CNN wants all the clicks. You know what? If CNN exclusively held the debate and aired it only on CNN TV without being on a live stream, they couldn't do anything about it. The fact that CNN is live streaming it themselves on YouTube makes it automatically fair use.
Okay, so what? I guess somebody in the sidebar is saying that if you stream this, other YouTubers are saying that CNN will try to come after you for like a strike or something.
They'll come after you for a copyright strike. And the worst case scenario, you take it down. But here's the problem with that. We're up here commenting on it, stopping the video, introducing it.
Yeah. I just think it's a good time, and I think it's fair use, and I think it's parody and fun, and I'm hoping you guys like it. I certainly would like to keep coming back and having fun with you guys. I hope that they don't do something drastic.
Paying everybody's bills.
Let's turn to the issue of democracy. A former president.
Sorry, I got
Trump,
someone
I wanna
interrupting
ask you about
my
January
live
6th,
stream.
2021. Rallied your supporters that day. Some of them stormed the Capitol to stop the constitutionally mandated counting of electoral votes. As president, you swore
No, it's
an
good.
oath
What's
to,
the matter,
quote,
you?
preserve,
Better safe
protect,
than
and
sorry.
defend,
Who
unquote,
knows?
the
We may
Constitution.
still get blown
What do you
out.
say to
Never
voters
know.
who believe that you violated that oath through your actions and inaction on January 6th and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I don't think too many believe that. And let me tell you about January 6th. On January 6th, we had a great border. Nobody coming through, very few. On January 6th, we were
No, that's
energy
true.
independent. On
That is
January
true.
6th, we had the lowest taxes ever. We had the lowest regulations ever. On January 6th, we were respected all over the world. All over the world, we were respected. And then he comes in, and we're now laughed at. We're like a bunch of stupid people. What happened to the
That's
United
true.
States?
You go to El Salvador,
reputation
people
under
laugh at
this
the
man's
United
leadership
States. They're like, what?
is horrible,
Are you kidding
including
me?
weaponization, which I'm sure at some point you'll be talking about, where he goes after his political opponent because he can't beat him fair and square.
You have 80 seconds
Amen.
left. My question was, what do you say to those voters who believe that you violated your constitutional oath through your actions and inaction on January 6, 2021, and worry that you'll do it again?
Well, I didn't say that to anybody. I
Yeah.
said peacefully and patriotically. And Nancy Pelosi, if you just watched the news from 2 days ago, on tape to her daughter,
see
who's
it.
a documentary filmmaker, they say,
A
but she's
filmmaker?
saying, oh, no.
Yeah,
it's
look
my
at all that, guys.
responsibility. I was responsible for this because I offered
How
her
is it that all
10,000
those people
soldiers
are
or
allowed
National
to have a
Guard,
live
and she
stream
turned them
of the
down. And the
debate?
mayor of, in writing, by the way, the
You
mayor
want to say
in
today?
writing turned it down. The mayor
CNN,
of
ABC,
DC.
Fox News,
He turned it
NBC,
down. I offered
CBS.
10,000 because I could see I had virtually
No, but
nothing to do.
I'm
They asked me
happy
to go
we
make a
have What's the
speech.
Matter You
I
helping
could
out.
see what was happening.
So
Everybody
everybody
was saying they're going to be there.
give
on
What's the Matter
January
You a
6th,
bunch
they're
of
gonna be
ones
there.
for trying to
And I
save
said,
us
you
from
know what?
ourselves.
There's a lot of people
Fire,
feel it.
fire,
Feel
rain,
it. You
rain.
could feel it too, and you could feel it. And I said, they ought to have some National Guard or whatever. And I offered it to her, and she now admits that
That's right,
she
Kurt.
turned it down.
We got
And
to
it
take
was
care of our
the
people.
same day she
Can't
was, I
ostracize
don't know,
them when
she
they're
can't
trying
be
to
very happy with her daughter
the
because
right
it made
thing,
her into
right?
a liar. She said, I take full responsibility for January 6th.
Actually,
President Biden?
hey, I got a perfect. Hey, what's the matter, you? You know how you can
encouraged those
solve
folks
it?
to go up to the Capitol Hill.
Put
Number
a
one.
super
I
chat
sat
in.
in the dining room off
Wait a
the
minute.
office.
You gotta-
What did
I sat there
Biden
for
say?
3 hours. 3 hours watching debate
What's the matter,
after
messed
debate
up?
by his vice
Super
president
chat,
and a
super
number of
chat.
his
What's the matter,
colleagues on the
you?
Republican
You
side
gotta
as
pay.
well to do something, to call for a stop, to end it. Instead, they talked about these people being patriots and great patrons of America. In fact, he says he'll now forgive them for what they've done. They've been convicted. He says he wants to commute their sentences and say that no. He went to every single court in the nation. I don't know how many cases, scores of cases in the Supreme Court, and they said, no, this guy is responsible for doing what was done. He did do a damn thing, and these people should be in jail. And they should be the ones who are being held accountable. And he wants to let them all out. And now he says that he loses again. Such a
Papers!
whiner that he is. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Chevy says
What they've
papers
done
for the
to so many
$10
people
super
that are
chat.
so innocent. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. What you have done, and you've destroyed.
He's covering what's the matter. Use bail.
Mav, where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers?
What's the matter? You Chevy paid your bail.
You look at all of the. They took over big chunks of Seattle. I was all set to bring in the National Guard. They heard that. They saw them coming, and they left immediately. What he said about this whole subject is so off. Peacefully patriotic. One other thing. The unselect committee, which is basically two horrible Republicans that are all gone now.
You guys remember that movie Gladiator? So Maximus, you fought in the Teutoburg Forest against the Germans. That was a great movie, man.
Office and Democrats, all Democrats, they destroyed
All
and deleted
Democrats
all of the
destroyed.
information they found because they found out we were right.
But Trump's a
We were
Democrat
right.
too. He
And
governed
they
like a
deleted and
Democrat.
destroyed all of the information. They should go to jail for that. If a Republican did that, they'd go to
Thank
jail.
you,
Wait,
President.
he said go to jail?
I wanna give you a
Play
minute.
that footage.
The only person on this stage is a convicted felon.
Oh,
is what
really?
I'm looking at right now.
Already?
And the fact of the matter
Yep.
is, he is
Mein-
what he's
mein
telling you is simply
Gott.
not true. The fact is that
Dr. Liebergeit, seid Gesundheit.
Where are your papers, Mav? Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers?
Your papers to the concentration camp.
Ah,
Where?
woo.
What's the matter, you? No papers.
come on. When I asked him the first two debates we had, first time around, I said, "Will you denounce the Proud Boys?" He said, "No, I'll tell them to stand by." The idea he's referring, will you denounce these guys? Will you denounce the people we're talking about now?
What's the matter, you?
Denounce
Says his
people
dog ate
at
his
that
papers.
Capitol?
Oh
What
my
are you
God, you
gonna
remind
do?
me of that robot from Buck Rogers.
I'm going to
Remember Buck Rogers, guys?
minute, President
Danger
Trump,
with
for
Robinson,
follow-up question
danger.
I have. After a jury convicted you of 34 felonies last month, you said if reelected, you would, quote, have every right to go after, unquote, your political opponents. You just talked
Your
about
dog ate your
members of the
papers.
select committee on January 6th going to jail. Your main political opponent is standing on stage with you tonight. Can you clarify exactly what it means about you feeling you have every right to go after your political opponents?
Well, I said my retribution is going to be success. We're going to make this country successful again, because right now it's a failing nation. My retribution is going to be success. But when he talks about a convicted felon, his son is a convicted felon at a very high level. His son is convicted, going to be
Low
convicted
blow,
probably
low
numerous
blow.
other times. Should have been convicted before, but his Justice Department let the statute of limitations lapse on the most
That is
important
true.
things. But
Yeah.
he could be a convicted felon as soon as he gets out of office. Joe could be a convicted felon with all of the things that he's done. He's done horrible things. All of the death caused at the border, telling the Ukrainian people that we're going to want $1 billion or you change the prosecutor. Otherwise, you're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That
It's
we're
quid
not
pro
going to do
quo.
anything. We're not going to give you $1 billion unless you change your prosecutor having to do with the son. This man is a criminal. This man, you're lucky. You're lucky. I did nothing wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and disgusting. I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President
Wrong,
Biden, you have said,
wrong.
I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond? Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to respond.
The idea
Of course you will.
that I did anything wrong relative to what you're talking about is outrageous.
Oh,
It's simply
it's
wrong, number one.
outrageous.
Number two, the idea that you have a right to seek retribution against any American just because you're president is wrong. It's simply wrong. No
Well,
president.
Biden does it all the time with his FBI.
No
So
president in our history has spoken like that before. Number three, the crimes that you are still charged with, and think of all the civil penalties you have. How many billions of dollars do you owe in civil penalties for molesting a woman in public, for doing a whole range
Whoa,
of things,
Joe's
having
taking the
sexual
gloves
assault
off.
on the night while your wife was pregnant?
yeah, he really is.
What are you talking about? You have the morals of an elephant.
Way more bumbling than
You're gonna
usual.
answer?
He's really
I didn't
doing
have
it.
sex with a porn star, number one. Number two, that was a case that was started and moved. They
Well, Biden
moved
likes
a
little kids.
high-ranking
so,
official
I
at
don't really
DOJ
know.
Of course, he
into
didn't
the
have
Manhattan
sex. He
DA's
just wants to
office
do
start
some
that case.
unlawful acts.
That case is going to be appealed
Biden
and
likes
won.
to sniff
We
children.
had
I
a
don't
very,
understand why we're even having this
terrible judge,
conversation.
a horrible judge, Democrat. The prosecutor were all high-ranking Democrats, appointed people, and both the civil and the criminal.
Civil.
He basically went after his political opponent.
That's true.
Because he thought it was going to damage
It's
me.
like
But
the
when the
communist
public
Chinese.
found out about these cases, because they
All
understand
the
it better than
cases
he
were
does, he
brought
has
by
no idea what
partisan
these cases
Democrats.
are.
That is
But
true.
when they found out about these cases, you know what they did? My poll numbers went up, way up. You know that because you're reporting it.
You're going to get the
And we
black
took
vote
in
now
more money in the
because of what
last 2
Biden
weeks
did.
than we've ever taken in the history of any campaign. I don't think any campaign has ever taken. Hundreds of millions of dollars came pouring in because the public knows it's a scam and
Yeah.
it's a guy that's after his political opponent because he can't win
partisan.
fair and square.
That's
Thank you,
that's why
President Trump.
people
President
don't believe
Biden,
in
you
any of
have
this
said,
stuff.
quote, Donald Trump and his MAGA Republicans are determined to destroy
MAGA
American
Republicans.
democracy. Do you believe that the tens of
He
millions
looks like
of
he's seen a
Americans who are
ghost.
likely to vote for President Trump will be voting against American democracy?
The more they know about what he's done, yes. The more they know about what he's done. And there's a lot more coming up. He's got a lot of cases down the road coming around. He's got a whole range of issues he has to face. I don't know what the
Well,
juries will do.
Guys,
but
we
I
need to
do
take
know
a
he
break.
has a real problem.
Guys, we need to take an intermission from this because
To be honest with you, I want to see both these jackwagons papers.
Well, hold on. Before we do that, I got to break. This is breaking news. This is very important to me that you guys see this.
Hey, America, ready to make history? Your vote is your voice, so let's use it wisely. This election, we're not just choosing leaders. We're choosing the future we want for our families, our communities, and our country. Michael Aileen and Chili DeCastro are more than candidates. They're dedicated patriots committed to fighting for you. They stand with integrity, honor, and a relentless drive for justice and progress. Imagine a nation where every voice is heard and every person is valued. That's the vision Michael and Chili bring to the table. They believe in a stronger, brighter future for all Americans.
Amen.
Your vote is your power. It's your chance to steer the course of our nation towards a path of prosperity and unity. So let's come together and make it happen. Vote for Michael Aileen and Chili DeCastro, Semper Fidelis. Always faithful, always forward. Together, we can build the America we believe in, the America we deserve. Let's do this. Vote now.
Let's do this, guys. Let's do this. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Michael Aileen and Chili DeCastro. So I think we do it like this. We have me run first. We have Chili come in.
I'm just thinking, you know, we've already got a convicted felon running, so Chili's like right there, man, in the running, man. He's a convicted misdemeanor. Be the chief of staff, by the way. I'm gonna run that shit.
Guys, check it out. If it's me and Chili, that is 1, 2, 3. We could leapfrog, right? Like boom, 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 boom. That's 4 tours of straight OTVO. Give me a bunch of OTVOs in the sidebar. Hit that like and subscribe button. And also make sure to save. Everybody, you should be always saving my channel and sharing it with all your friends, because not only am I a lawyer, but I have BZ Watchdog. And BZ Watchdog is a real comedian. And so having a real comedian, something that I learned studying for the bar, laughter, comedy, it helps you remember things. It helps, you know, when you're stressed out and you're freaked out, you don't learn. But
here I go. Before you start this, when I'm president, I'm going to teach all cops to have a sense of humor, to de-escalate before I indemnify them.
OTVO, baby. Give me a bunch of OTVOs. Looking forward to seeing Chili again.
And so the fact that, could you ever think you heard any president say that I'm going to see retribution? You ever hear any president say that I thought Hitler had some good ideas? What got me involved to run in the first place after my son had died, I decided in Iraq, because of Iraq, I said I wasn't going to run again until I saw what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. People coming out of the woods.
Trust me, we would have loved you not to run again.
Torches.
Oh,
and,
God.
And singing the same anti-Semitic bile they sang when back in Germany. And the young woman got killed. I spoke to the mother.
Is he talking about Germany?
They asked him, they said, what do you think of those people? The people the ones who got killed.
Miles, you have your V papers.
I think they're fine people.
Your papers, oh my God.
American president would ever say, Nazis coming out of fields carrying.
Nazis coming out of fields.
Oh God! I knew he was going to go there with that one.
You don't have any papers?
To the concrete come with you. To the concrete face plant with
When
you.
they came in, it was over 200, about 200.
To the concrete face plant with you.
That was really fun, man. That was awesome. Hold on a second, guys. I gotta get back into the debates,
because it was his last chance.
You gotta get
He's
back
not
in
equipped
there.
to be president. You know
Gotta
it,
get
and I know
back
it. It's
into the
ridiculous.
debate.
We have a debate.
I think it's both their last chance. I think they're dying.
His presidency, he's without question the worst president, the worst presidency in the history of our country.
That's
We shouldn't be
absolutely a
having
fact.
debate about it. There's
Biden's
nothing
an
to
absolute
debate.
disgrace.
He made up the Charlottesville story, and you'll see it's debunked all over the place. Every anchor every reasonable anchor has.
Give me a bunch of
debunked
ones if
it.
you think Joe
And
Biden's
just the
a
other day it
disgrace.
came out where it was fully debunked. It's a nonsense story. He knows that, and he didn't run because of Charlottesville. He used that as an excuse.
Of course, what a joke.
President Biden.
Pandering.
Debunked. It happened. All you have to do is listen to what was said at the time. And the idea that somehow that's the only reason I ran. I ran because I was worried a guy like this guy could get elected. He
The reason I ran is because I like to lie to the American people.
Harry knows those woods. Harry knows torture, and he didn't deserve to be president. Didn't deserve to be president at all. And the
You're gonna lose a
idea
kidney out
that
of
he's
this, by the
talking
way,
about
guys.
all this being fabricated. We saw with our own eyes. We saw what happened on January 6th. We saw the people breaking through the windows. We saw people occupying the.
Hey, it's
his
the
own
first
vice president.
unarmed
Look, there's a
insurrection in
reason why
American history.
40 of his 44 top cabinet officers refused to endorse him this time. His vice president hasn't endorsed him this time.
Stacey, you're so
Why?
funny.
Why? They know him well. They serve with him. Why are they not endorsing him?
Thank you, President Biden. We're going to be right back with more from the CNN presidential debate.
Oh, that was just really great. So, now it's like the halftime show, right? So we get to BZ. So BZ, we get to be pundits right now. And I think that we should ask audience questions. We should pretend like we're a couple of commie liberals and that we work for the press. And we've got some people in the audience. And so let's ask some questions. So first of all, give me a bunch of ones. So far, who's winning? Give me ones if it's Trump and twos if it's Obama. I mean,
I'm
Biden.
gonna go with the third option. Neither.
Neither. And then three if neither. Three if BZ Watchdog and I are winning the debate.
Shit, Brownie's winning the debate, and he's over there invoking his Fifth Amendment right to remain
Oh my
silent.
gosh,
Stupid.
Brownie. Congratulations, Brownie. Now, for you guys who don't know, Brownie is the dog that's sitting behind my buddy BZ. And so for the people who are just joining our stream, which looks like more and more actually leaving, BZ and I are both inactive United States Marines. I'm a lawyer. He's a cop watcher. He helps me with investigations of lawsuits and stuff like that. I'm licensed in Texas and California. So he does some investigative work for me, and he does a lot of research and cop watching and public records requests. And there's Brownie right there. And so I love having BZ on because he's super funny and he's got a really great sense of humor. And
Look, he's invoked his fifth.
Hey Jeff, good seeing you. Yeah. Jeff says that he's still here. That's good. I'm glad Jeff's still here.
Brownie, what's up, buddy?
Did I do okay? I mean, hey, guys,
Nah, that doesn't bother him, dude. He's like the friendliest guy in the world. He would never hurt anybody.
give me a bunch of ones if I did a good cat hiss. And then I'm gonna do my Siamese next. Meow. That's a Siamese cat. Give me a bunch of ones if that's a good Siamese cat.
They're saying Brownie's the only one with a brain among us. I love brownies. That's where my vote is. Smart dog.
Mama Lion's
Brownie's
cracking
winning.
up right now.
Brownie, where are your Pampers?
All right. So it's a halftime show right now. What do you guys think? BZ, I want you to take over and ask questions. And I'm going
The
to
halftime. This thing was over before it freaking started.
Yeah, well, I want to miss all the commercials.
Oh, is there commercials right now?
Yeah, that's why I jetted out.
Oh,
But you talk.
I'm sorry, man. I got premium.
I got premium too, but they still have like a halftime show.
I don't know what you're talking about, man. Not on the channel I'm on.
Well, here, let me show you. See, hold on. See, there's the halftime show.
What are you on, C-SPAN?
It's the CNN presidential debates.
Oh, that's because you haven't skipped to the live, bro.
Oh, really?
You're not live.
Well, let's check it out. Let's get back over to this one.
You're not getting $1 billion. If I ever said that, that's quid pro quo. That we're not going to do anything. We're not going to get
slide your bar all the way over.
Prosecutor having to do with his son.
Right.
This man is a criminal.
bar?
This man, you're lucky.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
Hover over
I
the
did nothing
screen.
wrong. We'd have a system that was rigged and
on
disgusting.
it.
I did nothing wrong.
Thank you, President Trump. President
Please
Biden,
go
you
ahead.
have said, I'm coming right to you, sir. You want to respond?
This one?
Yeah, all the way. There you
Everybody
go.
making under $70,000 a year are going to be able to get $15,000 towards their tuition.
Okay.
He just doesn't
Anybody
know what he's
understand
talking
anything
about.
this guy
Thank you,
just said?
President Biden. President Trump.
So I've dealt
You
with
got to do the same thing on the
politicians
CNN screen.
all my
that's why.
life. I've been on this side of
got
the
it.
equation
But I
for
like this
the
guy
last
better.
8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've never seen it. He can look you in the face. About so many other things too. And we mentioned the laptop. We mentioned Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and
Fair.
disinformation.
Fair.
The losers and suckers story that he made up is a total lie on the military.
Losers
It's a
and
disgrace.
suckers.
But Social Security, he's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country,
crazy.
and they're putting them onto
Makes
Social
no
Security.
sense.
They're putting them onto
Makes
Medicare,
no
Medicaid.
sense.
They're putting them in our hospitals.
Yep.
They're taking the place of our citizens. They're
Placing
what
us
they're
with
doing to
illegal
the
aliens.
VA, to our veterans is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the street,
That's right.
and these people are living in luxury hotels. He doesn't know what he's doing, and it's really coming back. I've never seen such anger in our country before.
Oh yeah, I'm pissed.
President Biden?
Unacceptable.
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of. I told you before. By the way, when I said suckers and losers, he said he.
Dude, you're like
Excuse me?
way behind. Go back to CNN, dude. We've already seen all this shit.
We have?
Yes.
I don't
this
remember
guy's
seeing
behind on
that.
the live stream, man.
All right, man.
Go back to CNN and fast forward.
We're already
$8,000.
Sure it
Anybody making under $70,000 a year could be able to get $15,000 toward the tuition. He just doesn't know what he's talking about.
You forget about what you're talking about, so it's all good.
All my life, I've been on this side of the equation for
God.
the last 8 years. I've never seen anybody lie like this guy. He lies. I've
telling
never
you,
seen it.
dude.
He could look you in the face.
You already
about
did this.
So many other things too.
Nothing I
And
can
we
do to help
mentioned
you,
the
bro.
laptop. We mentioned Russia, Ukraine. Everything he does is a lie. It's misinformation and disinformation. The losers and suckers story that he made
Yeah,
up
he
is a
owns
total
Silicon
lie on the
Valley. That's
military.
his party
disgrace.
controls Silicon
But
Valley and all the
Social
news
Security,
media. What do you expect?
He's destroying it because millions of people are pouring into our country, and they're putting them onto Social Security. They're
Yep.
putting them onto Medicare,
There ain't
Medicaid.
millions of
They're
people
putting them in
coming
our
here. Come on,
hospitals.
stop.
They're
Over
taking
20
the
million
place
so
of our
far.
citizens.
Stop.
What they're doing to
That's a
the
fact.
VA, to our veterans, is unbelievable. Our veterans are living in the
They're
street,
just moving from
and these people are
California to
living in
Texas.
luxury hotels.
They're coming
He
from
doesn't know what
all
he's
over the
doing,
world,
and
and they're being offered
it's
free
really
everything if
coming
they
back.
come.
I've never seen such anger in our country before.
President Biden?
The idea that veterans are not being taken care of. I told you before. By the way, when I said suckers and losers, he said he acknowledged after that he fired that general. That general got fired because he's the one that acknowledged that that's what he said. He was the one standing with.
The Afghanistan horror show, the most embarrassing moment that's allowed us to have the worst border in the history.
Telling you guys, I've gone all the way.
Nations
See
did
that?
fire any
All the way. That's as good as I can get you. I got all these people in the sidebar telling me I need
nations
to
did you
fast
fire
forward.
anybody that allowed
I'm
our
showing
country
you,
to
I've
be
done it.
destroyed? Joe, our country is being destroyed as you
That's
and I
where you're
sit up
at,
here
man.
and waste a lot of time on this debate. This shouldn't be a debate. He is the worst president. He just said about me because I said it. But look, he's the worst president in the history
Maybe
of our
because they
country.
keep
He's
repeating
destroyed our
themselves, they
country.
forgot
Now
what they
all of a
said
sudden
20
he's trying to
minutes
get
ago.
very tough
Ah!
on the border. He came out with a nothing.
Give me a
nothing
bunch
deal,
of ones if you
and it
think Joe
reduced it a little
Biden is the
bit,
worst
a
president
little
in
bit,
American
like
history.
this
Give me a
much.
bunch of
It's
twos if you think
insignificant.
that he's the
He
best.
wants open borders. He wants our country to either be destroyed or he wants to pick up those people as
Hear, hear.
voters. And I don't think we just can't let it happen. If he wins this election, our country doesn't have a chance, not even a chance, of coming out of this rut. We probably won't have a country left anymore. That's how bad it is. He is
Right
the
on,
worst in
Scrubzilla.
history by far.
Thank you, President Trump. President Biden?
We're the most admired country in the
We're the
world.
most
We're the
admired
United States
country
of
by
America.
drag
There's
queens
nothing
all
beyond
across
our
the world.
capacity. We have the finest military in the history of the world, the finest in the history of the world. No one thinks we're weak. No one wants to screw around with us. Nobody.
He should have glued his
Number one.
dentures in
Number
before we
two,
started.
the idea that we're talking about worse
I'm just
presidents.
waiting for
I
Joe
wasn't
Biden
joking.
to send all
Look
the
it up.
drag
Go
queens to
online.
old people's homes. Why does he like to send them to
58,
kindergarten?
don't hold me the exact number. Presidential historians, they've had meetings and they voted who's the worst president in American history. One through best to worst. They said he was the worst in all of American history. That's a fact. That's not conjecture. He can argue they're wrong, but that's what they voted. The idea that he is doing anything to deal
Bronson,
with
thank
childcare,
man.
He did for virtually nothing to child care. We should significantly increase the child care tax credit. We should significantly increase the availability of women and men or single parents to be able to go back to work. And we should encourage businesses to have.
Thank you, President
childcare
Biden.
facilities.
President Trump, the question was about what would you do to make childcare more affordable, if you want to take your minute.
Just so you understand, we have polling, we have other things that they rate him the worst because what he's done is so bad. And they rate me, I'll show you, I will show you. And they rate me one of the best, okay? And if
I thought
I'm
you
given
said,
another 4
rate me
years,
and
I will
watch
be
me.
the
That's
best.
what I thought.
That's what I thought too.
Nobody's
Give
ever
me a bunch of ones if you thought it
created an
said the
economy like
RAPE
us.
word.
Nobody ever cut taxes like us. He's the only one I know. He wants to raise your taxes by 4 times. He wants to raise everybody's taxes by 4 times. He wants the Trump tax cuts to
Look at him
expire.
smiling.
So everybody,
God,
including
he
the
looks
2 of
terrible.
you, are going
Biden
to pay
looks like
4 to
he's
5
gonna like
times.
keel over
Nobody
any
ever heard of
second.
this
It just
before.
looks terrible.
All my life, I'd grow up and I'd see politicians talking
man.
about cutting taxes. When we cut taxes, as I said, we did more business. Apple and all these companies, they were bringing money back into our country. The worst president in history by far, and everybody knows it.
President Biden?
Look, the fact of the matter is that he's dead wrong about. He's increased the tariff.
Fact of
He's
the matter, how
increased-
about
he
here's
will
the
increase
deal.
The taxes on middle class people. I said I'd never raise a tax on anybody making less than $40,000. I didn't. But this tariff is 10% tariffs. Everything
Wait,
coming in
guys,
the
we
country,
need to
you know
take
what
a
the
quick
economists say?
bathroom break. What do
That's
you
going to
think?
cost the average American
Pause it, man.
$2,500 a year
I fall
more
asleep listening to
because
these
they're going to have
guys.
to pay the difference.
I'm kind of
in
thinking the same
food
thing. And
all the
besides,
things
I
that
think
are
that
important.
all you guys
Number
that
two,
really came
he's
here
in a
because
situation where
you're
he
hoping
talks
that
about
Chili
how
and I
he
are going to
has
run.
not raised.
I want to know where his papers
he's-
are.
He somehow helped
I
the middle
know.
class.
Hold on, let me see if I can
Now you want a new tax cut of
see
$5
if I can
trillion
get things
over
squared
the
away
next
for
10
everybody
years,
because it's really
which is going to
important to me
fundamentally bankrupt the.
that you guys understand what's going
Hey,
on
America,
out there.
ready to make history? Your vote is your voice, so let's use it
What do
wisely.
you guys think?
This election, we're not just choosing leaders. We're choosing the future we want for our families, our communities, and our country. Michael Aileen and Chili de Castro are more than candidates. They're dedicated patriots committed to fighting for you. They stand with integrity, honor, and a relentless drive for justice and progress. Imagine a nation where every voice is heard and every person is valued. That's the vision Michael and Chili bring to the table. They believe in a stronger,
Get Chili
brighter
for
future for all
president, guys.
Americans.
What do you think?
Your vote is your power. It's your chance to steer the course of our nation towards a path of prosperity and unity. So let's come together and make it happen. Vote for Michael Aileen and Chili de Castro. Semper Fidelis. Always faithful, always forward. Together, we can build the America we believe in, the America we deserve. Let's do this. Vote now.
Lefty, right, hey-oh.
What will you?
He gets
lefty
money from
double
China.
time.
So I think he's afraid to deal with them or something. But do you notice he never took out my tariffs because we bring in so much money with the tariffs that I imposed on China. He never took them away. He can't because it's too much money. It's tremendous. And we saved our steel industries and there was more to come, but he hasn't done that. But he hasn't cut the tariffs because he can't, because it's too much money. But he's got the largest deficit in the history of our country, and he's got the worst situation with China. China's going to own us if you keep allowing them to do what they're doing to us as a country. They are killing us as a country, Joe, and you can't let that happen. You're destroying our country.
So, President Trump, you have 67 seconds left. The question was, what are you going to do to help Americans in the throes of addiction right now who are struggling to get the treatment they need?
Let's let them
Jake,
talk.
we're doing very well at addiction until the COVID came along. We had 2.5, almost 3 years of like nobody's ever had before, any country in every way. And then we had to get tough.
Alan.
And
I want to be the Supreme
drugs
Commander.
pouring across the border were it started to increase. We got great equipment. We bought the certain dog that's the most incredible thing that you've ever seen, the way they can spot it. We did a lot. And
What's the matter?
we
You
were
just said
getting
you got
very low
bumped
numbers, very
over
low numbers.
ABC.
Then he came along.
What's
Then-
that?
Have you seen the numbers
What's
now?
the matter? You
It's
said
not
that
only
you got bumped to go over to ABC. So everybody in the sidebar, let me know if YouTube is redirecting you guys to other feeds. Because that would be wild, because I never received any advance notice that you can't have a live feed of a freaking doggone
Well, I bet you
page.
it's because you're not interrupt. I think if you just keep streaming it instead of stopping Fast forward.
Yeah.
It's like you got to do it like a reaction. That's the problem.
Oh, is that what's going on? Man, I don't know what the heck's going on. I'm just trying to have a good time. I mean, it seems to me just us talking about it should be enough, but I get what you're saying, you know. So it says here, Nunya Bidnes. Nunya Bidnes says it didn't happen, but wasn't mad at you, says Sin City had it happen. So, and Stacy Parenti says, I don't know. I just putting my kids to bed. Yeah, it's really cool having all you guys join us. I'll be honest with you, BZ. I'm fried, bro. I'd like to get some chow. I mean, you guys can watch the rest of it today.
I gotta get some rest. I gotta get up early. So
I'm super tired.
If they're gonna be bouncing stuff or people getting bounced, it's
yeah.
You know, we've given everybody a pretty good comedy show. I mean, Saturday Night Live. I'm looking forward to Saturday night, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to have a good time because these debates are just. I mean, it's
freaking joke.
I mean, the country's $75 trillion in debt, guys. I mean, we're pretty much toast. I'm already trying to figure out where
we're not toast, bro. Just all we got to do is stroke another check.
I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to move. Where am I going to move my family? You know, because pretty much the only people left in this country are going to be people looking to get a free government handout.
Well, you're 10 years too late to move to Texas.
I know, man. I know I am.
I
regret it. I regret it.
Should have thought about that when you were when the kids were born.
Was not thinking, man. Was just rolling in the dough, thinking it was going to last forever. So everybody, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because you never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel. Everybody, I want you to thank BZ Watchdog for coming on. I want also for you to thank him for really covering the Carolina Fort Worth case like hardcore. He got me in on it really quick so I could get it really good coverage, and I was able to give you like my legal breakdown of everything. And so far, everything that I said has absolutely 1,000% been true.
Actually,
as well as BZ. Go ahead.
Hey, can you let's see. I want to see if I can. I want to show the people what I found with those pictures.
Well, just guys, go over to shoot them out on your channel, dude. Go over to BZ Watchdog's channel and check out his shit.
Maybe we'll do a show tomorrow on it. But
I'm down.
But I'll tell you right now, this morning at like 6 o'clock this morning, I went online, and because of what I found in those pictures, where I circled the person that was the culprit for touching her phone and turning it off, I did open records request on that other officer. So I want to see what comes back.
Well. So tomorrow night, guys, my plan is to go live on the Team DLZ website, the Delete Laws website, and we have a video that's already started about recycling bad cops. So we could have BZ come on and talk about all of his findings in the Carolina case, because honestly, it's really about recycling bad cops, because the evidence that we have shows that this particular officer apparently had been recycled, and we're seeing that happen more and more, where they'll recycle a bad cop into a new force, and lo and behold, the same kind of stuff keeps happening. It's kind of like being in a bad relationship, and you know, guy keeps beating his wife, she calls to have the cops come, and then she doesn't want to press charges, and it's like this vicious cycle.
And and by the way, just to give you guys a quick update before we go, I don't know if anybody's been watching the news, but former Uvalde, we've been talking about Uvalde recently in the last couple of months. The school chief, the former Uvalde school chief, police chief, has actually been indicted for the role in that elementary school shooting. So I knew it was going to take probably 2 years, but heads are starting to roll. I think we've got a lot of heat in Texas with law enforcement.
Yeah,
so you guys are going to start to see a lot of heads roll further, and it's about time. So hopefully this guy doesn't get recycled somewhere else before they could actually get him with charges.
So BZ, this is very interesting, because we know that law enforcement has no general duty to protect people. So I would think that this has something to do with law enforcement.
But doesn't all their cars say to serve and protect? Wow, that's an oxymoron.
I would think that this has something to do with law enforcement targeting the parents who tried to rescue their kids.
I believe so too.
The lady who rescued her children, who I was trying to have Chili DeCastro help me with before he got locked away. We know that woman was constantly harassed. She was jailed, and her crime was to escape her handcuffs and go and rescue her kids. And so I just want you guys to remember that law enforcement has no general duty to protect people. It's your job to protect yourself and your family. Never, ever rely on politicians or the government. But anyways, make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save, because you never know when the thought police are going to take down this channel.
Papers?
Papers? Oh crap! I got to do it now because I'm under strict orders that I always have to show my papers.
We are gonna sign off with papers.
Oh my God! You know what, man? I'm trying to find it. Give me a second, guys. I gotta drag this bad chicken over here, I think, in order to make it work. It's not letting me do it. Hold on.
You're gonna do it. You have strict orders.
Hold on, sir. The private has to get the papers.
Where are your papers, Mav? Where are they? Oh, you don't have any papers?
Yeah. So this is the papers, yeah. So kind Bishan, everybody. So what's the matter, you? Thanks for coming. As always, I really appreciate all your support.
OTBO, thanks for coming. Scrubzilla, Jeff, what's the matter? None business. Stacy, as always. Jody Shillo, as always. Kurt Johnson, all the loyal people. Mama Lion, I ain't gonna forget you. I know you there. Let's see. Let's see. Alan Hubbs. Let's see. Sin City, Giggles, and Liberty. I'm just making Chevy is always Chevy.
Hope you had a good time.
But everyone else, Adolf 3967. Who's gonna replace Joe now? That's funny. But anyways, guys, I am fried. I got to get up in about 6 hours, if that. So
yeah. I mean, I'll just leave. I'm just gonna do it this way, guys. As you guys know, Chili DeCastro and I are running for president and vice president, respectively.
And I'm running for what do they call it? Chief of staff.
Yeah, of course. And I want to share our video with you, our campaign video, one last time. Then we're going to go ahead and close it out.
Hey, America, ready to make history? Your vote is your voice, so let's use it wisely. This election, we're not just choosing leaders. We're choosing the future we want for our families, our communities, and our country. Michael Aileen and Chili DeCastro are more than candidates. They're dedicated patriots committed to fighting for you. They stand with integrity, honor, and a relentless drive for justice and progress. Imagine a nation where every voice is heard and every person is valued. That's the vision Michael and Chili bring to the table. They believe in a stronger, brighter future for all Americans. Your vote is your power. It's your chance to steer the course of our nation towards a path of prosperity and unity. So let's come together and make it happen. Vote for Michael Aileen and Chili DeCastro, Semper Fidelis. Always faithful, always forward. Together, we can build the America we believe in, the America we deserve. Let's do this. Vote now.
Left, right, left. All right. So you guys heard it. That's our campaign video. And of course, BZ Watchdogs behind the scenes with Chevy doing all of our campaign music and doing all the cop watching. So make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to save. And thanks again, everybody. Stacy Parenti, Jody Shiloh, Jeff, everybody coming out. Semper Fi, do or die. And I'm out of here. Goodbye.
Peace out.
All right, dude. We're done.
Wow, bro. I'm fried, man.
Dude, that was awesome, bro. We get people love